Here we go once again with a new look and different background, so just changing things around a little bit. Missionary Enterprise, Missionary Aid International, live streaming, webcam, camcorder, and of course we're coming live from Oshawa, the city of Oshawa, Durham region, Ontario, Canada, North America. And of course, once again, we are doing key Bible verses, and we're going to have a good time today. And these are things that, of course, I've already taught on in different teachings, but we're looking at specific verses. I just want to make sure I'm okay here. Yeah, we're okay here. So, what is that noise? Oh, there's that noise, yes. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. So today we're looking at, this is number 14, and we're looking at Mark 4:17. Mark, the Gospel of Mark, chapter 4, verse 17, and they have no root in themselves, and so endure only for a time. So they endured, but only for a time. Afterward, when tribulation and persecution arises for the word's sake, immediately they stumble. They stumble, all right? So let's read it. That's the New King James. Let's read it out of the New King James, Amplified, sorry. And they have no real root in themselves, and so they endure for a little while. Then when trouble or persecution arises on account of the word, I like that, on account of the word, they immediately are offended, become displeased, indignant, resentful, and they stumble and fall away. Now, this happens all the time with a lot of Christians. All the time. So, what I wrote here, first of all, is key word is arise. Arise. Okay? Troubles arise. That's Strong's number 1096. Green's has having occurred. Same word found in verse 37. Verse 37 of the same parable. All of this denoting warfare because of verse 15. So, let's go to Mark. Let's go to Mark real quick. I should have had my marker there, but that's okay. Mark 4. Let's go to verse 37 regarding this word, arise. It says here, in a furious storm of wind of hurricane proportion arose. Same Greek word, arose. And the waves kept beating into the boat so that it was already becoming filled. All right? And then I wrote here, all of this denoting warfare or spiritual warfare because of verse 15. Let's go back to verse 15. The ones along the path are those who have the word sown in their hearts, but when they hear Satan comes immediately, comes at once and by force takes away the message which is sown in them. So this is, the parable is all about sowing the word, obviously, but there's warfare involved, and we need to be very, very well aware of that. So key words here, on account of the word. On account of the word. All right? The devil hates the word. All right? He don't want that word to get inside of you. So I wrote here, on account of the word equals on account of the sown word. Not just the word, but sowing the word, because this is the parable of the sower. The devil is out to do whatever he can to stop you from sowing the word, because he wants to stop you from having a harvest of that word. All right? That's what he's out to. The word's been given us in seed form. I've already done teachings on that. All right? So I wrote here, when you begin to experience troubles, and you're going to experience troubles. If you don't, then there's something wrong with you. When you start experiencing troubles, don't start thinking it's God's doing that. No, no, no. It's the devil doing that. All right? The devil's doing that. Therefore, you need to learn to keep on sowing the word. All right? Which is what Luke 8:15, we can look at that, is all about, which I already done a teaching on that. Right? We have to persevere in sowing the word, especially when the enemy comes and it tries to stop us from sowing the word. So let's look at Luke 8. That's the other parable of the sower. The same parable. It's just said a little bit differently. Luke 8:15, I already done the teaching on this. But as for the seed in the good soil, these are the people who, hearing the word, hold it fast. Hold it fast. That's key. Holding fast to the word in a just, noble, virtuous, and worthy heart, and steadily bring forth fruit with patience or with endurance. All right, so it's not good enough to hold to the word, sowing it. No, you've got to apply endurance. You've got to apply perseverance, persistency. You have to, because the enemy is not going to stop. We're going to look at that a little bit. So this is a little bit on warfare too. A little bit. I want to make sure everything's going here. So the key words on account of the word, that's Strong's number 1223, and it could be translated of because of, or by reason of, or for the sake of the word. He's after the word. Like in the same way that he was after Jesus. Jesus is the word, right? The more you're determined to do what it takes to sow the word, the more you can expect opposition of all kinds of opposition, mostly from the enemy, a demon, 2 demons, 3 demons, whatever. But also it can come from those closest to you because they don't understand what you're doing, meaning family members, whatever, even Christians. You know, they're sincere, but they're sincerely wrong. Don't waste your time doing all that confession stuff. Don't waste your time sowing the word. That don't work. All right? Yes, it does work. It's the only thing that works. It's part of your transformation to his image. I wrote here, what we read in this verse, what we just read in Mark, is not just for Jesus, all right, but for everyone who is out to imitate and follow Jesus. So what the verse I'm referring to there is Luke 4. Let's go to Luke 4:13. Luke 4:13. Like I said, this is not just for the Lord. This is going to be for each one of us, especially in context with sowing the word and persecution, troubles arising. Luke 4:13, it says here, and when the devil, remember we talked about Satan, Mark 4, and when the devil had ended every temptation, the complete cycle of temptations, he, the devil, temporarily left Jesus, that is, stood off from him until another more opportune and favorable time. So we need to understand that. You know, there are times where I feel there's an attack. I know there's an attack. Everything's going wrong. The atmosphere in my house or wherever I'm at, but usually I spend a lot of time in the house now in doing these things, but I just feel, I know there's an oppression, all right? It's an oppression, there's an attack, but I don't start yelling at the devil. No, I keep doing what I was doing because he's trying to stop me. So I just keep speaking the word. I keep speaking the word. I keep praying in tongues. I keep my fasting, all that kind of stuff. You know, the 5 keys, basically, right? Eventually, whether it's that same day or at night or the next day or 2 days, eventually it all clears up. It all clears up. There's peace, there's the whole thing. And you know, they left. They left. That demon left, or the demons left. But the only demon left for not another opportune time, meaning they're going to come back. They're going to try the same thing, or they're going to try something a little bit different. And we need to recognize that. We have to recognize that. All right? As long as we've got demons on this earth, as long as we're here on this earth, there's going to be warfare. All right? So I finally wrote here, building and growing roots, because that's what it said there. It says, and they have no root in themselves. All right? Amplified has, they have no real root in themselves, but you got to build the roots. Building and growing roots is key if you're going to endure the troubles that the devil is going to send your way in order to stop you from sowing the word as a seed. All right, you got to grow the roots. And that goes back to the other parable in Mark 4, where it talks about the different stages of the growth of the seed, right? So, and I already did a teaching on that, or I'm going to be doing the teaching next, I think, my next video. So anyhow, this is all together, and I like to break things down. It makes it sometimes a lot easier to understand what the Word has to say about all of this. So I like to do a breakdown. And so like I said, this is key Bible verses. And of course, I like to teach with the surrounding verses. So that's key to everything, to understanding, having a clear understanding, so that when these things happen, then you'll know what to do. You won't give up. You won't capitulate. All right? You'll keep on persevering. All right? I've been doing this for quite a few years. I got ways to go. But I'll tell you, I'm growing the word inside of me to have a harvest. And once I get my harvest, well, then even there, the devil may even try to steal my harvest. Okay? He's doesn't stop. He's got nothing else to do. Like Dave Robertson used to say, his light went out a long time ago. I mean, he's got no light. He lives in darkness. All right? He's evil. All right? The Amplified actually calls him the evil genius. And also we have the God of this world, small g, prince of the air, all these different terminologies, definitions to describe fallen Lucifer. Satan, Diablos, the penetrating one. He's trying to penetrate your armor. All right? So, okay, I think we're done. And as I always finish my teachings, I encourage each and one of you to walk in the fullness of your sonship by learning how to walk in the fullness of the grace of God and of the faith of God, because it is faith that gives access to the grace of God. Shalom and amen.